This video is going to be on how to remove a cylinder from a Kwikset lock. Now, the reason I'm doing this, somebody gave me the key, but they also broke their key off inside the lock. Normally, when the key is in the lock, there are many ways to remove the key with items you can insert into the lock to grab onto the key and pull it out. Unfortunately, I don't have that item here right now to be able to do that. Otherwise, this would take 2 seconds to do. So what I'm going to have to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to remove the spindle out of this lock, and then I'm going to take out the cylinder piece. Now, I also have a tool for that, but that is not here either. Otherwise, this would take seconds to do. So I'm going to show you what somebody like you or me who doesn't have the tools would have to do to be able to remove the cylinder. If my videos help you, please do a thumbs up, a subscribe, or a like. If you want to donate to my channel, ask for my PayPal info, and if there's something you want me to review, if I can get a hold of it, I will do the review. So the first thing you need to do is you need to remove the spindle, and you can see how it's facing. Let me see if it's zoomed in enough. Can I zoom in more? I might be able to zoom in more. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so, that's really zoomed in. This piece, what you're going to need is you're going to need to be able to maneuver this spindle, and usually you need a key that opens up the lock to be able to maneuver the spindle. Now, there is a little lever inside here that is holding this piece in. And the way you remove this piece, let's adjust the camera, is you're going to have to press on the back of this lock. There's something over here that you should be able to press with a screwdriver, and it should press in. But it's not going to press in because this needs to be turned this way. And you could do that with a screwdriver. You could put a screwdriver in here and turn it so this tang is over to the right. You don't want it to the left, you want it to the right. Or you might be able to put in the key. Is that going to be able to turn that thing? No, that's not going to turn it. All right, let me get the screwdriver. Okay, I'm zoomed out just a little bit so we can see this together. So you see this piece over here, how it's facing upward? You want it to be facing, this is how you would be looking at it. You want it to be facing to the right. So you put your screwdriver in the end of this and turn it. Let's get a good view of that. Turn the screwdriver to the left. Not this way. You don't want it to the right. You want it to the left. And when you turn it, you're turning your screwdriver to the left, and it's making the piece go to the right. That's important. See what we're doing? So turn the screwdriver, put the screwdriver in, turn it to the left. The piece is going to go to the right. And now, by doing that, you should be able to take a screwdriver and go in behind here. There's a little, you want to go in this area. See how the screwdriver, let's try to get a good view. See how the screwdriver is able to, hear that piece? Hear that? And what that's doing is that's moving a part inside here that's going to allow this piece to come out. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to put the screwdriver in. I'm going to turn it, and this piece pops out now. Zoom out a little bit. So this piece comes out. See this little indent over here? Before you press the spring on the back, there was a piece that was holding this in. Once you press on the back of the lock, it allows this piece to move out, and then this part comes out. That's step number one. Step number two, when you're looking at the lock, there is a clip. When the lock is facing up, or when you have these two pieces over here, there are clips on the top and the bottom that are holding this cylinder in. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But you're going to need to get into the lock and press those pieces down. And there's a tool, as I said, that will go right in and jam those two pieces. What's happening is the lock has these two spring-type pieces, and you need to push them inward so that the lock comes out. So what I'm going to do, I don't have a long, narrow screwdriver. which would be handy, but you need, it's got to be very narrow because you don't have a lot of room to work in this little hole over here. The tighter the hole, the less room you've got. So I'm going to go get a couple of Allen wrenches, and I'm going to see if I can pop them in there and pop this lock out. All right, hopefully this will work. I'm using a 7/64 and a 3/32 Allen head wrench. Really not the way to do this, but sometimes you do what you got to do. This might even be too thick, so yeah, these might be too big. Let's put the 7/64 away. Ouch. We'll use a 5/64 and a 3/32, and mainly I just want to get in there and press inward on both sides to remove this lock. I'd really love to do this with flat blade screwdriver, which I don't have. And I think, nope, that didn't go in. Okay, I've got a long screwdriver now. So I've got the, again, so there are two clips, one on each side. I've got the Allen head wrench pressing under one clip, and I'm going to try to hook on the other clip. And once I take it out, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. I think I've got it now. You just have to really press hard to get these. Yeah, I got it. It would really help if I had two screwdrivers that were doing this. But I don't. And again, there's a Kwikset removal tool that makes this thing take seconds to do. I've got the screwdriver under that piece that I had under, had the wrench under before. I'm going to see if I can do this without grabbing another long screwdriver. Because you really need to, yep, I just heard a loud pop, but it did not remove it. Hold on. Here we go again. This screwdriver is huge. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. No, it's not going to work. You're definitely under on that one. Okay, it's under on that one. Let's see if I can get this wrench in here. Oh, come on. There it goes. Woo! Did you hear the pop? Okay. So I'm going to show you what happened now. I'm going to put this lock over here. So what we've got here is this lock. And you see the positioning? So the lock comes out like this. We've got these little tangs over here. That's what I was doing. I was just taking, so you can see the markings over there right now. The screwdriver went, and all it did is it pressed these two pieces in, and the lock popped out. So we're not done yet, because the goal is to get the key out. And you can see right now the lock is completely upside down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing so that the keyway should be facing the top of the lock. I believe right over here you can see it. Right over in there you can see that the key is stuck in there. See that little shiny piece? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that this way until I'm going to press outward so the lock won't really turn. And then I'm going to go in from the, well, you can't really go in from the back like you could with a Schlage. So what I'm going to do, on the back, we have this little hook over here. Be really careful, because if you have a key in here like I do, the minute you let go of this thing, the cylinder is going to come out and it's going to go, everything's going to fly around. That's why I made sure I got the extra key from the person, just in case. But what you want to do is you go in there with your screwdriver and you hook onto this C-clamp over here. You should be able to get enough room. There it goes. See the C-clamp is coming up now? Or whatever it's called. And be really careful, because this thing's going to pop. I might have to put a I'm probably going to have to put a follower in here so that the pins and everything don't go flying out. A follower is something like this. I don't even know if I have the right size for this lock, but the follower just goes into the lock as you remove the cylinder, and it holds all the pins and the springs in there. And that's what I'm going to try to do right now. You got to be careful with this too. You could really mess things up. So you want to take the lock and you want to turn it a little. I'm going to turn it so it's not facing, the keyway's not facing where the pins are. So I'm going to go like a 45, maybe a 30-degree angle or so. So we have the keyway this way and the lock over there at the top. And then I'm going to make sure that my follower, you got to make sure whatever you do, I don't know if the follower is going to fit into this lock. That's the whole thing. It might be too big. I'm going to insert it in here, and I'm going to go real slow. You want to make sure that your pins are facing upward, because if this lock is upside down, everything's going to fall on the floor. And so I'm going to go very slowly to make sure that my follower is going to fit in the lock, which it appears it's going to. Okay, so what we see is the follower is going to go in there and it's going to stop the springs and everything from falling apart. And I've got the pins facing upward. Push the lock through. Go slow, you don't want anything falling apart, but if it does, you should be able to put everything back together. Okay, so there we go. That's the advantage of the follower. Now I've got the key that's in here. I'll put my thumb over, my forefinger over here. And I think the easiest way for me is, just so I don't screw this up, I'm going to take each one of these pins out one by one. So you put your hand over there and you turn this thing upside down and you tap on it a little bit. If there are master pins in here, then you're screwed at this point. But there are no master pins in here. Kwikset pins are mostly, Schlage pins have a point. Kwikset pins really don't have a point on either end. So you don't want to get these things mixed up. 2, 3, where did it fall? 3, 4, and then 5. So we got the 5th pin out. Now, well, you just see it fly out. There's the key. There's the broken key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the key out of the way. I'm going to take the cylinder and I'm going to go backwards. There. Put all the pins back in. There. You can put it in backwards or forwards, however you want. Doesn't really make a difference. So you got the pins back in the lock. Now you have to go slow again. Keep the pins facing up, away from the springs, because if they are facing this side, then they're going to get, the pins are going to jump down from the top and get stuck in the cylinder, and you're going to have a problem. So go slow. Push it through. There we go. Take the part out. You should be able to take the screwdriver now and turn it. You should hear it lock. There we go. Everything's locked now. Where's that C-clamp? Let's get the C-clamp and pop it on here. Be careful, because these things will fly across the room. That's why I got my fingers over there. It locks in place. Now, I put a little mark over here before so that I knew where the top of the cylinder went. Otherwise, you're going to have the key going in upside down. So I'm going to just take the thing and push it in now, and it should snap in place. Let's listen. Snapped in place. We've got the lock in place. Let's go take the spindle here. Hopefully this is going to help you. If it's saving you $100 in locksmith fees, come on. Help me out. Help out my channel a little bit. Leave a donation. And this might pop in, it might not. Doesn't want to pop in? Doesn't want to pop in by itself? Might not, okay, so it's not going to pop in. Do we have to press on the back? There we go, popped in. Let's get the, we got the broken key over here. Let's put the regular key in and see what happens. Hey, there you go. That's how you save yourself $45 or $75 on a service call, or money at the lock shop if you bring it in. So again, hopefully this video helped you. Subscribe, do a thumbs up. It definitely helps me out as a YouTube creator. And make sure you watch all my other videos. I got some really cool stuff on here. Thanks for watching, everybody.